Hey, everybody. Joe, Misfit, Glenn here. We are here with none other than Don Hudson. Yeah?
You got to watch that camera.
We got Joshua in. What's up, Joshua? Just going to wait a few more minutes, Don, for some folks to come in. Me and you can shoot the shit, though.
What? We got to watch that camera because you almost caught me picking my nose, and I don't want to.
Yeah, be on your game.
Yeah,
What's up, John? We got John Michael Sr. up in. Cheers.
Hi.
I'm going to try to throw out some comments so you can see them too. You see them on your screen, Don?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
You see it over near my face? Anything below me?
I see.
No.
Yeah, there it is. I see.
There it is. And now it's gone.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
We got Native Veteran in. We got Jeremy Sims in. What's going on, y'all?
Damn. I feel like Johnny Carson.
Yeah, they're here for you. These, you know what? We get a couple of them. Jeremy Sims is a regular, man. Thank you for coming up, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
I'm glad Jerry's an auto-growing son of a gun there, buddy.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah,
Nikki's in.
Hi,
What's up,
Nick.
Nikki?
Miss Nikki.
All right.
Oh, Nick. I see Nikki all over the place now. She's just learning all kinds of stuff everywhere.
Yeah. All right, Facebook user, what's up? I'm not really sure who. Oh, there it is. Not sure who that is. Okay. Hey. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for showing up. If you come in a little bit late, Travis came in there, Don.
Hi, Travis.
If you guys missed something, go back and watch the video. Cool. So tonight we're going to be talking about little tips and tricks about growing cannabis, vegetables, flowers, anything, growing anything, right? And, by the way, Don is like a lifetime grower. Like he's just grown. You're a farmer. Am I right, Don? Tell me a little bit about it.
I was dragging a diaper full of shit through the furrows of a field when I was like 2. So I've been doing this over 60 years.
All right. Good to know. So you know a lot of little tips and tricks, little things to help,
All the old stuff before we had lights.
Yeah, right. Before you had lights. All right. Now, Father Time was here. He'd be like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Well, Father Time's got the original recipe for dirt.
Yeah, the original OG. That's what's up. Good stuff. All right. So Don, I was thinking, if we're going to be talking about gardening, right, and growing anything, let's start with soil. Or, you know what? Let's start with location. Outdoors, right?
Yeah.
What do you do when you're picking locations, man? This is important to me. I want to hear what an old timer has to say about it.
The biggest thing that for me, I grew up in the southern Midwest, just southern part of Illinois, way down in the river bottoms. Okay, that's what I grew up. That's all the best soil. I mean, that's all organic. That's great. We used to grow mushrooms, everything.
Right.
The difference now, I live 20 miles from the Atlantic coast. Okay, so now I've got a lot of sand and acidity. There's hardly any clay at all. So it's really hard to grow outside unless, it takes a whole lot of years to get your stuff ready. Like the people down here that grow, the big field people, they've been doing it for a long time. Now, for my garden, for the last 3 years, I grow in bags. Every time I'm done with the grow, I throw out in my garden. And then every year I rotail it up. Right. So half of my garden right now is pretty damn good. Yeah. But just to let you know about the soil, I brought in 6 yards of topsoil beginning of the year, and that half the garden, everything in is ruined. Everything died. It got about 3 inches tall and just died. That soil is so terrible. Terrible. So, when I was a farmer professionally, we had what the hell they call You could take your soil to the Farm Bureau. Like down here, we've got University of South Carolina, Clemson. They'll do it, and you can take a sample of your soil to your Farm Bureau agent, and it won't cost you a dime. They'll send it back, everything that's in it, what your pH is, what your phosphates are, everything in that shit. That's the best way to do it.
And that's usually at the colleges, right?
Yep, the colleges, and they do it for nothing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it saves you a lot of time and money.
So real quick, I wanted to step back. Is there anything that you're guarding your garden from for the environment, your sun? Like, I guess my point being is, like, here in Oklahoma, 2:30 and on in dead of summer will melt plants. And so if you have something that you really need to have it right, or, it's not going to be wilty, it's just going to be a little bit more healthy and not so stressed, I block it from 2:30 and on from direct sunlight. You do anything like that?
This is where I get in trouble with people, because people are died. I mean, my goodness. In the summertime, my outside tent, the average temperature is 120 degrees.
Wow.
I grew 4 6-footers in it last year. Outside the tent, I mean, in the middle of the day, in the middle of July, it's 102. And now a lot of the guys, that temperatures don't mean a lot. Mm-hmm. When it's 102 here, it's 100% humidity.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've got to watch all that. But I know a lot of people got covers and they shade their stuff and everything. I've got a big shop fan, and I mean, you can disagree with me. That's fine. I've showed y'all what I grow. Temperature don't mean crap to me. It really don't. And I apologize if I hurt somebody's feelings. But
no. The point being is location. Location.
But like we talked earlier, think back. Think about where these strains came from. Where did sativa come from originally? In the mountains, in the desert.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like everybody worries about moisture and sun. The shit grew in the desert, guys. Right. And don't get me wrong. I understand you've got to be careful, and the professional growers got to do this and that.
Yeah.
But hey, don't stress my first couple of years growing like you guys taught me with the lights and humidity and shit. I like to lost my mind, man.
You know what? I think I need to have a little disclaimer here. I straight up went to cannabis and not everything else. And I keep forgetting that this is about everything. My head went straight to cannabis. And so I apologize for that. But I completely agree with you with any other vegetable, flower, or anything. They need what they need, and I give them everything that they need, of course. But I apologize for that. I guess I should have
you gotta apologize.
thrown that out.
I know that because I was so confused. I mean, I grew all my life, and then I started doing this the right way, I guess you'd call it. Like I told you earlier, I'm a big fan of Ed Rosenthal, and I took all the classes and shit. But there's just too much. It was too involved. The darn thing is, why do you call it weed? Because it's a friggin' weed.
It is.
And when you start doing the hybrids, I get it. Like the autos and the crosses and stuff, man, I'll tell you what. But I find that the land races, if you're going to run them, heck, just watch what you're doing. And everything, I do have to, we're talking about everything, about growing everything. This is eating me up. I got to tell you guys this. Like I said, I've been growing a lot of years, and this is about gardening.
Yeah.
I have my garden set up. My herbs are set up. I've got rosemary in a certain place. I've got garlic in a certain place. I've got thyme. Everything's basil, everything. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you what. I had the prettiest tomatoes you ever seen. Right now on the counter, I don't know if anybody y'all saw the picture. I've got over 100 green tomatoes in my kitchen because the moles went underneath my tomato plants. Now, I was a firm believer they were eating tomato plant roots. No.
Oh, man.
Grubs love tomato plants.
Yeah.
Moles love grubs.
Yeah.
So, my backyard, my tomatoes, my goodness, I tell you. And it's funny because moles do not like garlic. So my tomato plants are next to my garlic. They kill my tomato plants and stop like they drew a line right at the garlic, brother.
Oh, man.
So we fight aphids and grasshoppers and all that stuff. Those damn moles, I'm telling you what, they got my ass.
And the gophers around here, and we have moles and voles. I can't catch the moles. I should have a cat, I assume, but I am actually pretty good at catching the gophers. The gophers, they don't stand a chance.
I got 2 dachshunds, and they've dug my whole backyard up, and I can't.
Yeah, yeah.
That's but if we're gonna talk gardening, every time my mind is not right. Okay, so it skips around. So
welcome to the club, Don.
if y'all do just like I said, I plant a lot of herbs. That's my pesticides outside. I don't believe in. I don't like using pesticides. I really don't. So I plant a lot of herbs. But I'm telling if when you start planting herbs, you got to watch where you plant them. I love dill and I love tomatoes.
Yeah.
Don't ever plant your dill by your tomatoes.
Why?
Because dill attracts tomato bugs.
I'll be dang.
Yeah, right. I didn't know it either, but yeah. I showed you I'm a big fan of Ed Rosenthal. I'm also a big fan of the Farmer's Almanac. There is so much information in the Farmer's Almanac about where you live at. It's worth $2 investment or whatever. So, yeah.
How do they know this stuff? Because they're spot on every time. How do they know it?
They started, my goodness, back before, before anything. And
right.
The moon doesn't change. I mean, the moon and the rotation and everything of the sun, all that's going to stay the same. And it's all based on that. And, that's, you can do all the science you want, but whoever invented us and made this little blue marble, it stays the same. It really does. No matter how bad we screw it up, it still stays the same.
Shit. It's all inclusive, man. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So hey, TJ's throwing out some vibes here.
What's up, TJ?
He put a message up. Had to give TJ the love.
I can barely see what he's reading, but I read it. Yeah, I got to squint.
Yeah, and so, wow. Okay, so Jeremy's getting after it, too. He's got all kinds of goodness out there, man.
God darn, Jeremy, get some.
Yeah, get some for sure, man.
I'm going to his house for a picnic. Damn. Right. I tell you what, Jeremy, I'll bring a big 5-gallon can of ranch dressing, and we'll have a hell of a time with that, brother. Woo!
For sure. Hey, Cassie's throwing up gardenate.com. There's a good website for reminders. So, yeah, if you guys happen to...
Got to write shit down. Hold on.
Yeah, write it down. Gardenate. Okay. I'm always looking for all these kind of cool ideas that we'll be talking about tonight, like dill and the tomato plant. Oh, you know what? That's really good information if you like both. I do. Yeah. I'm growing dill and I'm growing tomato. Just so happens they're not close to each other. So good, right?
But it's really I ain't gonna tell you what to do, but if you take a minute and really study each one of the herbs you're gonna plant, it'll tell you where to put them. Like I started with a little bitty couple pieces of rosemary, and now the damn thing's probably a 4x4 patch right in front of my tent. Mm-hmm. So that rosemary, one of the cool things about it is my dogs made a path through it. Rosemary deters ticks and fleas on animals. So every day they play in it, they take care of that. But it also, the front of my tent is open during the day, so the breeze and everything blows all that oils and everything in there, and that gets rid of aphids, the fleas, the ticks, the flies. So you've got that going through there, and you just figure out what the different herbs do, and you plant them where you want to, they're going to do the best. Right. And that's what I did, because there's stuff out there. I mean, I'm not a big fan of thyme, but I've got thyme growing because it gets rid of, I can't even remember what it gets rid of, but everything. Yeah. And what's really cool about all of it is, as it goes on, like I've got basil that's flowering so bad, I keep pulling the tops off and throwing it over here when I got a patch over there. But if you take these things as they mature and you want to chop them and put them, I put mine in a mason jars, amber mason jars, and put water in them and just set them out on the picnic table. And then after a week or so, you shake them up and stuff and you straighten them out, and all that water in there is good. All that is water and your herbs. You can water with it. You can make tea out of it if you wanted. Yeah. I mean, it's got all those oils and everything in there to deter all those pests. So that's why even my tent, if the pictures of my tent, people ask, well, how come the floor of your tent's red? Once a month, I go through my tent and I take 2 big things of ground cinnamon. You can't pay an ant to come near cinnamon. So if you dust the floor of your tent with cinnamon,
Yeah.
There you go.
You got cinnamon. I use red pepper flakes for the bigger critters, you know.
Yep.
But back to what you were saying about teas and stuff. Let's throw this out there because I wrote down a couple of them, like bananas, you know, for the potassium tea to feed your plants. You know, you got aloe to add. You can do potassium aloe fucking mix. You know, aloe is good for the roots. You know, you could use eggshells. What else we got, man?
See, now here's another good one. I grow a whole lot of plants. If we're gonna talk about cannabis anyway, every time I defoliate, I've got a case of mason jars, amber mason jars. Every time I defoliate, I take all those leaves that are cut off, that I put them in a mason jar, and I'll take I grow aloe too, and I'll take a stick of aloe and I'll fill that mason jar full of water and set it on a picnic table.
Yep.
And that stuff I use on my. You've already got all the nutrients you put into those leaves and those pot plants.
Yes.
It's going to leach back out, and the aloe's going to get into it. And I strain it off. After a good something like that, I germinate in that. You've got the aloe. Aloe is one of the best things in the world to germinate. I'll argue with anybody about that. So you've got the aloe, and you've got the mild nutrients already from that. It works out great, and you don't have to pay $20 a gallon for it.
Right. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, you know.
Yeah.
But so let's. I need to go back to this. You were talking about the leaves, you know, having all the nutrients in it that you've been giving that plant through its whole life. This absolutely goes with my theory that you can't flush a plant, you know, right before harvest. You're not doing anything but just wasting your time.
Yeah.
Those leaves, those plant cells are just like our cells. You know, I witnessed an older couple back when I was younger. They used to do a lot of acid. Well, acid stores in your fat cells. Well, one of this lady's fat cells had ruptured, and she had her little acid trip right in front of me. Scariest shit I ever seen in my life. You know, and I was just a little guy, right? So that is where, I mean, just as a young man, I knew that your body stores things, right? I learned just through common sense that you can't flush that shit out. And so I just kind of cut back with my feedings. And matter of fact, I don't feed very much at all, maybe once a whole grow cycle because of that theory.
And everybody's different. That's what's so, what you're saying is so, people don't understand a plant is a living, breathing.
Yes.
Like it's like a human almost. I mean, it lives, it breathes, it knows what it's doing. Whoever made us made those damn plants. Now everybody's
sleeps at night. You know, it sleeps.
Yeah. Everybody's got different ideas about stuff. I feed from day one to till the minute I chop them. Sometimes I feed that morning. But that's me, and I don't do the 24 hours of light and stuff. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those things I'm not quite right with, because I've got a whole garden. Everybody's seen my garden, and it's in the same place that I grow cannabis. Mm-hmm. The lights are the same,
right?
You know, and everything is growing great. But then I hear, that's a whole other subject. But we're gonna deal with everything. We're gonna be doing this for a while, Joe, over the next few weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
There's so much that I don't want to say. I don't want to throw the bullshit towel. I really don't, because everybody's got their opinions, and what works for you may not work for me. But there's so many things that when I first started doing it, like you guys do it, I was scared to death if I'd have had a pinhole piece of light somewhere in the neighborhood. You know, I didn't know, and now it's like. But that's why I was glad you asked to do this, because some of the stuff we'll cover, the guys that are and girls that are just starting out, they're as nervous as I was, you know?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, I've only been growing cannabis like you guys do for a short period of time. I've been growing everything else. So, I mean, I can't tell you about the cannabis thing, but we can grow anything. Like I told you, put it out there. We can grow this some gun. I'm telling you.
Listen, this is absolutely the truth, in my opinion. I don't see it any other way. I haven't been growing cannabis that long either, but I have been gardening for damn near my whole life. My mom was a big gardener, and I was always with my mom, you know? And so I learned to love it. It was just part of me, right? And so cannabis was a no-brainer because I used the same skills I used in gardening or growing a flower for cannabis. Now, I tweaked it because cannabis deserves a little bit more respect indoors, right?
Sure.
Because you have to be Mother Nature. But outdoors, that plant will do everything it's expected to do without any of your help besides watering. That's it.
If you can keep it out of a hurricane, that son of a bitch will grow. I guarantee it'll grow.
It absolutely will. I've seen it happen. I mean, I had a plant split literally down the middle, and it had a good 2-inch round stalk. It literally split all the way down. I had used hose clamps for a car. I used hose clamps to clamp it back together, and it lasted for another month and gave me 1.5 pounds of weed.
I was going to say, I bet it turned into a monster, those 2 damn limbs. I split one like that last year, and I thought, I almost cried. I'd never done it before. So I took some aloe and put a drop of aloe in it and wrapped it with some painter's tape. Oh, my God, when it come back, it had 2 massive. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and, and now for everybody that's listening, you don't have to be as geeky as me and Don are about growing things. I see this as just a living thing, and I like to, facilitate that beautiful life. Not everybody sees it that way. I understand that, but I'm a geek about it. John or Don seems to be a geek about it.
I'm just a geek.
We're going to go with it.
I tell you, but we'll grow anything. I got to tell you, y'all, if y'all see my pictures, this you got to try. You got to grow sunflowers. You really do.
Yeah.
I've got those dwarf sunflowers. I've never seen nothing like them. Now I've got some out there that are like 12 foot tall with big heads on them. But those dwarf puppies, they look like a stoplight in New York City. They got little heads all over those other bridges. And here's the cool thing. I got dogs. The squirrels love those seeds.
Yeah.
The squirrels go to the seeds. The dogs chase the squirrels. I ain't got to walk the goddamn dogs. They chase the squirrels. The seeds are gone. The dogs are walked. Everything's good. Grow sunflowers.
Yeah, it all works, huh?
It does.
I feed birds around here, so I had a bunch of sunflowers just start popping up out of the ground. Yeah. So I collected a few, and I'll be growing a couple here. Well, at least one this year. I'll see.
Yeah, they're and for me, because of where I grow at.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were going to be 12 foot tall. They're taller than my weather station, so you can't even see that side of the tent.
Right.
Oh, well, I thought the corn was going to get tall. The corn ain't worth a shit, but those sunflowers are badass.
So Don, I got to ask you a question, man.
I got an answer.
I am kind of like, I get sideways about weeds near my shit that I don't want weeds near. What do you do, or do you do anything for it?
Well, when I was a little kid, we had a huge garden, and you spent days on your hands and knees pulling weeds.
Yeah.
We didn't have ground cover cloth then.
Right.
I invest in ground cover cloth. In the spring, when I rotate everything and I get everything set up, my hills and everything, I'll go and I'll put ground cover cloth over it and stake it down, and then make my slits and do it like that. It doesn't get everything, but it helps a lot because I cannot stand pulling weeds. And my garden, half my garden last year was yard. So I've got rototilled yard with 6 yards of topsoil so all I'm getting is grass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible. But
yeah.
But I can't stand weeds. And I don't know if you know it. If you've got a plant, say you got a pepper plant, and it's here, and there's no weeds around it. And you got the same pepper plant here with grass growing around it. It can't go nowhere. The one it's going to grow nice. This one's got to fight. Just remember that thing's got to fight everything to get its nutrients. So that's why you want to keep that stuff.
Agreed.
You got to keep it away, or else it's got to fight everything.
Yeah, they just choke them out. Chokes it out.
And if you're putting them in the ground, it doesn't have any nutrients already. There you go.
Right.
Oh well. But
So seniors asking about your advice on growing autos outdoors. Is there anything special you got going on for that?
If you'd asked me that last year, I'd have told you don't run for the hills. I don't know. I've got a picture I posted last year. This is no lie. This is my grinder. Okay. I grew an auto full 3 months, no taller than this. One bud.
I've done it.
Yeah. Oh my God. That. But now I told you what I was doing. Can I share what I'm doing with the blue light thing? That's what I'm doing with autos. That's my trick for autos this year. I've did some reading about blue light and growing. And I've read a lot of stuff. Everybody says autos, you can leave them under the light 24 hours. I'm not a believer in that. I'm a farmer. I believe that plant's got to rest at some time.
Yes, me
so
too.
What I do now, because I had so much trouble with autos outside, I start them inside, and I let them get a few weeks old and into their something bigger before I put them outside. But how I do it, I start them like anybody else. Now I've got a photo on 12 and 12 right now. So once they sprout, I can put mine in cubes, in the Jiffy cube. That's how I start mine.
Yeah.
I'll put them in that 12 and 12. And when it goes off at 12, I take them out, and I've got a blue light. It's a blue growing light you would use for clones, a cloning light. It's just a small little bitty light. Mm-hmm. And when I take them out of the 12 and 12 there, I put them under the blue light. So all they're getting is blue light. Well, the way I'm understanding it from what I've read and what you've read, Joe, the roots and stems develop under that blue light, but the other ranges, the reds and yellows, don't make it grow tall and stretch. It just bulks up the bottom. And I'm here to tell you, I've got 5 sitting here next to me. I'm going to wait till we do this next week, let them get a little bigger. But these 5 little rascals are a week old, and one of them's just a monster already. So you can believe what you want. Like, I'm going to tell this, like I told you, Joe, if I tell you something worked, it's because it worked for me. If it didn't work for me, I'm going to tell you, it might work for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I guarantee you, this blue light, Yeah. But if any of you, that's what I do for my autos anyway. That was the answer to that. I start them inside, and once they get 3 or 4 nice leaves on them and stuff, then I take them outside for, in the morning for an hour or two, but just gradually take them out. Because I'm not exaggerating, since January, I have destroyed 24 auto seeds by putting them outside too fast, too early, not germinating right. So just start them inside, let them get going, take them out a little time. Yeah. And now my first grow this year, I chopped 3 weeks ago, I think. I did those 5 plants from Serious Ken. I got just under 2 pounds out of those things. They were, you saw the picture.
Yeah.
They were huge. Amazing. And that's how I did them.
That's probably the absolute largest yield I personally have seen from an auto.
I freaked out. And what I did I promise you, the last 2 weeks before I harvested them, they were outside 24 hours. The sun was coming up. And I left them outside in the real weather for the last 2 weeks. Oh my God.
Well, for me, when I grew autos outdoor, I don't do that much anymore. If I had the opportunity, I would, but I don't necessarily need to. I have photos outdoors. But when I did it, I would have them in their pots, and I had one of those little metal carts you could pull around. I could fit 5 or 6 in there. And so I would literally monitor those ladies 24 hours a day. I would bring them out as soon as the sun come up, right? Nice and easy. I would make sure they weren't in direct sunlight because autos are finicky as shit. And I would pull them indoors and close the door down when the sun went away. It was too much work for me to do autos outdoors like that. So I stopped, and I just do it indoors now. But back to the whole, just be mindful that those indoor plants starting do not have their ability to block the UV light. The UV shit will hurt them initially. Then they will develop the whatever in their body to block all that, like a sunblock, if you will. And then they'll be fine outdoors forever, until they are harvestable. It's about the UV light. That's what'll kill them.
I've got when you walk out my back sliding door on my patio, I've got a table, and it's got a canopy tent. So when I first start taking them outside, I'll take them outside in the morning when it's still cool and put them under that canopy tent. It's shade. It's not getting direct sun. It's just getting shade. And I'll do that for a few days. And then eventually I'll get them out into the sun. But once I get them in the sun regularly, they're out there, man. And I checked on them today, and it was 122 in the tent.
Yeah.
And they were going,
just loving it, huh?
Yeah.
You have good airflow in that tent, I would assume.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the trick with the heat and the humidity. You got to have it.
Because they got to transpire. They got to perspirate, and if they can't breathe, because at 120 and high humidity, that would suck. So I knew right away it was airflow.
It helps real well, and that's another thing. You don't think about this shit till you do it. My fan is situated so it blows the rosemary and the basil into the tent. So that gets rid of the flies, those little freaking silver flies.
Yeah.
It gets rid of all that shit. Now you get a bumblebee in there once in a while, but that's it's like spraying bug spray, only it's natural. I mean, it's just a little thing. Over the years, you just come up with it.
Yeah, I got you there.
But like I said, and you know the deal. I don't know no more than anybody else. I'm just like growing things, man.
Got you, man. And that's what's up. Hey, you were talking about tomatoes, Don.
Yep.
I read something about a piece of aluminum foil at the base of your tomato stalk would keep the cutworms away. You heard about that?
I've never had a problem with cutworms.
No? What about them other ones? I know that you had your deal, close to one or whatever you were talking about.
Tomato bugs?
Yeah.
I don't know how that'll get rid of tomato bugs. I'll dust. Sometimes I'll dust with seven, however you pronounce that dust stuff. You put on your feet when you go out in the woods.
Oh yeah.
I'll dust with that once in a while, but I've never heard about the aluminum foil. I have to look into that.
Yeah, it was just it was something that I had picked up. I thought it was a cool little thing. That's why I decided to remember it and say it. I love tomato plants.
I'm gonna look that up. I've never heard that before.
So here, let's see what do you say about Cassie's little deal there about Epsom salt? Because I have some sitting right there that I'd like to use on my tomato plants.
Epsom salt makes tomatoes what?
Sweeter.
Oh, I got to be nice, don't I? I don't know. I know I use a lot of potash around my tomatoes, but I've never used Epsom salt.
I'd like to look into that.
Damn, I'm getting I'll be up all night researching stuff.
Well, if I'm honest, let's have a little common sense talk here. The Epsom salt raises the pH, correct, of the soil.
Yeah.
So if you have an acidic tomato, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the fruit is a little bit more tart and just smacks right. I don't know how to put that, but it would make sense.
I understand what you're saying, and that makes sense. I've never heard of Epsom salts before. I've really got to check this out.
Yeah, see, that's what this is about, man. I want to learn some cool shit too, guys.
That's got me kind of. I've tried mothballs ground up and water, made serum out of mothballs for moles. I'm wondering what the Epsom salts, if I put it around my tomatoes, if that'll get rid of the grubs too, to get rid of the moles.
Perhaps if the soil pH is high.
Man, Kathy, thank you so much. I'm going to check this out. If I can put Epsom salt on day and sweeten my tomatoes and get rid of those damn grubs, Kathy, I owe you dinner.
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
That's cool as hell. I've never heard of that, but if you think it through, hell, it sweetens the tomato and gets rid of those damn grubs. That means the moles won't be there. Oh my goodness, damn, hell.
Might be on something.
I'm gonna have to get a big ledger and start writing all this. And when we're done, you and me will write a book. It'll be
right. You write it, man. You write it, Don. Go ahead.
I can't even spell my name, Joe. Have you seen?
They got autocorrect now. Autocorrect, bro.
Oh, that gets me in a lot of trouble. A lot. I don't even go near that.
Me too.
Never mind. Yeah.
But yeah, well, that was all the little questions that I had thought of, man. But so we talked about soil. We talked about locations. We talked a little bit about
your location. See, that's we didn't hit on. You said location, but we really didn't hit location. We talked about where I lived at. But here's what's really cool about my situation. If you're gonna put a garden in, I don't care what you're gonna grow outside. Get up one morning when you know the sun's coming up with a cup of coffee, and you watch that sun come up, and you look at what time it is. And then at noon, you look at your watch, you go out and see where that sun's at. And then when you go out, when the sun's supposed to set, and look at your watch and see where that sun's at.
Yeah.
That's how you want to set up. I've got mine in the east where the sun comes up. When it comes up, where my garden and tents are in the backyard, that sun from the time it comes up to the time it sets is hitting that. My house is south of that, so it there's no sun right past my house. So I had to move everything back about 20 feet, but it has got the full scan of that sun from the time it comes up to the time it goes down, from January to January. At no time, that's whenever that sun's up, it's hitting my garden. So
all right,
if you're gonna do a garden, think about that. Now, I tell you what, I'm a big fan of these damn raised beds. Yeah. And what's cool is where I live, there's a lot of veterans here, and a lot of the older guys get scrap wood and they build these things and they sell them to help. I mean, you can get them for $20 or $25, but if you, what I do is I get stain, the same stain I paint my fence with, and I stain them inside and out. And then in the bottom, when I figure out where I put that dark cloth, the ground cover cloth, I staple that to the bottom, and I put them where I'm going to put them, and then I fill them with my dirt. But those things are great if you don't have a lot of room. You know, if you live in a subdivision, I'm crazy, but I'm going to get about five or six more, because you can dial them into what you can do. Tomato plants, you can do your onions. I wouldn't try doing potatoes, because you really want to put those in the ground. But you can, like your herbs, you can surround your whole area that you're going to grow your special stuff in with those raised beds. And you ain't got to worry about, there's not a mole going to come up through it. Right. I mean, and you might want to get your own red worms and your own ladybugs, because nothing's going to be able to get up through the ground into it. I swear by them, Joe. I'm telling you what, if I kind of wish I would have got about 10 of them instead of doing my yard like I did. Yeah. And just because you can, I mean, they're really good for somebody that doesn't want to go big like I'm doing. You know, just have a nice little garden. God, I'm telling you.
I do most of my outdoor planting, at least cannabis, is always in a pot.
Yeah, I do that.
I do put my vegetables in the ground, but not very often, man, because like around me, we have sandy loam, which is good, right? But sandy loam is just type of soil that is really good for draining and stuff, you know? Okay. But I only have like maybe 6 inches of topsoil, and then it's all sandy loam for about another 6 inches, and then it's all clay. We got gray clay and red clay, and it's about a foot a piece, right? So I can't get shit. I have to dig a big ass hole if I want to grow them in the ground and amend that hole, right? Yeah. And so it was just too much work, and my body doesn't dig like that no more. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny, because I remember when I first started talking to you last year, I'm scared. We're scared to death of clones, and I was defoliating one of my big ones out, one of the photos outside, and I snapped a branch off, and I got pissed off, and I said, well, you would just, I don't know. Anyway, I just cut the damn little leaves off and stuck the damn thing in the dirt. Yep. I got 4 ounces off the damn thing. Yeah. I mean, I tried cloning. I can't do it. This thing I just stuck in the damn dirt and got 4 ounces off it. I mean,
that's exactly how I started cloning, was exactly what you said. And I was like, nuh-uh, and I'll be damned, you know? And then I was like, man, I got to do this better. And so I bought myself cloners, and now, like I said, 100% success all the time, you know?
It amazes me, because and that's why I'm wanting a lot of the people that are new to listen to hear this. I would freak myself out. I thought this was like, oh, this is nuclear rocket science here.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. And that's why I do these shows. I'm doing these shows to tell you, man, here I am. I'm all beat up, and I can't hardly remember my name, just like you, Don, right? But I can grow good weed and good medicine, you know, and man, everybody else can too, I promise you.
Well, it's the common sense thing, and it's going to piss a lot of people off me saying this, and a lot of manufacturers off. But I'm telling you what, we didn't have all that shit back in the day, and I've been getting high longer than most of y'all been alive. So I mean, I can't even spell pH meter, so I wouldn't. Right. I mean, yes, I did. I broke down and I got a light meter. because I got that. Oh, I got the hot spotlight. But I got to thinking about it. I took the thing outside. I held it under the sun. I said, damn.
Right.
You don't need this thing either. I mean, after a while, you know how where your height should be and your heat should be and all that stuff. But
yeah.
And now I'm not going to mention no names, but I enjoy growing anything. It's an adventure. It keeps my mind right. I don't want, and you're going to know what I'm talking about. You can go now and put your tent up and put the stuff in it and it all goes into a laptop and you don't even see you put a seed in, you don't even, I mean, oh my God.
Yeah. That's no fun, man. That's no fun.
You've got to drop one and let it fall on the floor and ruin it. And you got to break one in half. No, man. No. I watch some of these sites and no, I'm not disrespecting nobody. That's the differences I'm drawing a difference. Well, I can't get my Wi-Fi to hook up to my fan. Hello.
Right. Somebody didn't have to change channels as a kid, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just laughing about it. I'm trying to draw the difference, show everybody that it's just so different.
Yeah.
It's like I was talking to Nick from Sea of Green earlier, and we were talking about brickweed.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Joe. When was the last time you actually saw brickweed?
I ain't never had it.
See?
I've never had it. Yeah.
A lot of people out there going, what the fuck's that old fat man talking about, brickweed?
I watched my brother have that. I watched it. I seen what it is. I know exactly what it is and how it smells, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, and how it ruins your Sunday clothes.
Yeah.
Back when I was growing up, there was nobody my age that didn't have a Sunday go to meeting shirt that didn't have a hole in it. Those fucking seeds would pop every time on your Sunday shirt, and your mama would whoop your butt. That's a long time ago. But yeah, I like this stuff now. When I got the pleasure of meeting, and I never get his name right, a Native veteran, Caleb.
Yeah. Oh, Caleb. Yep.
That when we all met in Oklahoma City, and thank you so much for that, Caleb. I had never in my life ever done anything like we did there. I didn't know what a friggin' dab was. I had a little dab. That's Brill cream. Put it on your hair. A little dab will do you. Caleb, thank you so much. I thought I'd never pot was pot. I sat and watched Travis take a toke off of something and explain every terrapin he tasted. Damn it, man.
Yeah.
I would hate
pretty
to
intense.
beer with him. He would tell you every hop in the beer. I was so amazed. Caleb, thank you for opening that world up to me. I had never in my life experienced flavored pot before.
Yeah.
It was always pot.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of good stuff with all the developments. And you know, a lot of the old timers and I literally fit in the old timer category now.
Yeah, you are.
we like our old school easy methods that we know are tried and true. Don't want to go messing that up now, you know. Shit.
But when we was in Oklahoma City, I know we're supposed to be talking about growing, but somebody asked a question, I'll answer. It's okay. It is so complicated now. I mean, my God, it used to be you had a paper,
yep,
had pot,
yep,
and you saw what was going on at the table. And you put when we was at the thing at CannaCon, they had machines going.
All right.
I could have sat for days for filling cones up. I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. I remember the first time going.
Yeah. You know, I've rolled 2 joints. I pack all my joints, man. I can't roll to save my life, man. Can't roll to save my life.
You know what that is? I'm old, brother.
Yeah.
And my old lady I got now don't roll, so I'm screwed. I got to get a damn roll.
Yeah.
It was great.
Unfortunately, my sons can roll way better than me. They do like the cross ones and stuff. So yeah.
I tell you what, I brought back all that swag you sent me from CannaCon.
Yeah,
There was a paper in there like 4 inches.
Yes.
How in it?
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, the big bamboo you got with Cheech and Chong album, it was like it took a pound to roll it up. But these things, I gave them to somebody. I said, there's no way I could roll that. It won't fit in my machine. So
I think Prez could probably smoke that whole thing by himself. It's like a quarter in that thing.
That's what was when I met David. He was rolling this. It looked. I've never seen nobody roll something like it was diapering a baby or something. I mean, those
right.
guys in Cuba, I've been to Cuba and seen them roll cigars. They ain't got shit on David. I'll tell you what, that boy roll a blunt. I'm telling you what.
Yeah, he scored it away. I ain't never seen that before. No.
I never seen nothing like that, Joe.
No. Yeah, same for sure.
You guys have got, and then Caleb brought that thing, and then TJ got one. Is that big glass thing with a ball in it? And
yeah,
it's like a sex toy or something. I don't know what the hell that thing was. It's too complicated to smoke dope with you guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they had all kinds of fun things, didn't they? Oh, it's a Rio.
Yeah.
Nick, the Rio, yeah. Thanks,
I am
Nick,
so glad I got to go and meet all you guys. I learned so much in Oklahoma City. It was unreal.
Yeah. Now, I got to play around without me, but yeah, I ain't never seen that kind of shit. I mean, I've seen a dab rig, but not like that Rio. Or
I didn't know what that was.
That little pin they had that was they stuck up. Yeah, well, I don't know, but hey, it was all good.
Well, I'd never done a dab, so I didn't know what none of that shit was. Never mind. We're talking about growing. It was just amazing. You guys got some neat shit.
Yeah,
I thought
they do.
I thought we had good drugs back when we was doing acid, but you guys got some neat pot. It really is.
Well, but see, now we just grow the best shit ever, man. At least I think. You can't find good weed at the dispensaries anymore. Can't find it.
That's what's really. I am nobody. I mean, I'm just you know what I'm saying. I tell you that all the time, but because of what you just said and where I live at, I can't sell a nickel of anything I've got because of where I live at. But my veterans, I'm a fucking rock star. You can't buy the stuff that I'm putting out. You really can't. And you can't buy it because I won't sell it. But all my veterans, I've got 3. I got it. As a matter of fact, somebody was watching this tonight. Hooked me up with another leukemia victim that we're gonna take care of. And I got to tell you, I know we're talking about growing and shit, but I couldn't do what I do if it wasn't for everybody. Okay, David and TJ, you, Joe, all our sponsors, like us, don't like us. I couldn't be. I'm helping cancer patients because of Vetco. Just know that. Just so you guys know, this isn't just a bunch of people getting seeds and growing dope.
Right.
You can't believe how much honey and edibles I put out to our brothers and sisters, and I couldn't do it without all our sponsors and Vetcos. Just know that.
We appreciate you for that, my man.
Let's not be serious now. Let's talk about something funny. But y'all just need to know Vetcos there's a whole lot more to it than everybody knows about us. I mean, me and Joe get to bless you with our pretty faces, but there's a lot of good stuff out there too.
Whoa, Don! I wouldn't go that far, brother. Shit, he said pretty.
Pretty ugly.
There you go.
There you go.
Got a word, my man. Shit.
Where's Kelly?
You know, Kelly like everybody's kind of just listening to us be goofballs, brother. Nobody got any more questions?
Kelly had a question. I want to know Kelly's question.
Hey, Don, you ever started a rose plant from a seed?
Nope. But do you know roses?
I know a little bit about them, and I do know that you have to, if you want a particular one from a seed, it takes like 2 years to germinate the damn thing, and I ain't in.
Well, let me tell you what, brother. Somebody told me earlier today that I'm I can just grow. I don't know what it is. I could grow rocks. I really could. My wife had a dying rose bush over at her house. Well, she moved in with me. We got married. Anyway, I bring this rose bush home and I dig a hole and I stick it in the ground. I think it was like October. The next spring, this thing is 6 foot tall and got beautiful long stem American red roses on it. Now it's 12 foot tall. It's out by the fence. I've had pictures. Yeah. But here's the cool thing, Joe. I wanted to clone it and put it in the backyard. So last October, I took a clone off of it and I did it right. I clipped it. It was a 10-inch clone. Had the bud at the top. I put rooting saw on it and I stuck it in the dirt. It bloomed 2 months ago. Miniature American red long stem roses. Tiny. Wow. They're no bigger than a dime.
Wow.
How in the heck? The mother plant is gorgeous. It's huge. And this plant, it's about 3 foot tall, but there's 20 or 30 tiny rosebuds. It's amazing, man. I don't.
You know what? So I got something for you, Don. I
Hold on.
have 3 green rose seeds. You're
Green
the man.
rose?
You got to do it, bro. I can't do it.
Where did you find green roses?
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know what you got there.
Yeah.
What?
I can't grow them, man. I can't do it. But you're the man.
Give me a chance. I might ruin them, but boy, I'd sure like a chance at them. I really would.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, they're just sitting there, and so I might as well let somebody play with it.
I'll tell you what. I'll grow them inside till next year. I'll start them in here whenever I get them, and I'll grow them and put them out in the spring. Yeah.
What about a redwood tree? You want to do a redwood tree?
Boy, my wife would. She wants another tree, so I'm allergic to leaves, so I cut all the trees. But no, we've got new trees in the backyard. So if you want to throw in a redwood tree, she'll love you to pieces.
Well, me and Caleb have been trading, tree seeds. I had a rainbow eucalyptus that doesn't do well in my area, and so I figured maybe let him get a chance at it and try to grow it. If you've never seen one, the bark is all like a rainbow. It's green and reds and purples, and it's really beautiful. If you guys ever have a chance, Google a rainbow eucalyptus. And so anyway, I've traded a few seeds. He's given me some. He gave me some redwood seeds. I haven't propagated anything yet, but I'm planning on getting after it. But I got some for you too, if you'd like to try.
Well, the green rose is what's got me excited right now, man.
Man.
If I could pull that off, dude, then I tease everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
If I could, I tease everybody about being experts. If I can pull off a green rose, brother, I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says a green rose. Man, that's wild.
Yeah, it's like a lime green. It's like a lime green. So you still see all the chlorophyll around the stems in that little pocket, but the rose is actually like a lime.
But that's a hunted thing. I mean, green roses, you can't find them. And
I've never seen them.
Won't, oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that Yard of the Month Club sign yet, brother. I'm telling you. That's awesome. Now we've got
Shane. Shane's talking about canna bonsai. Shane, you could do it. It's too easy, bro. Too easy.
Somebody posted something somewhere. I wanted to send it to you. They did a cannabis plant, and the whole thing was folded over. It had like 12. It was like this.
Yeah.
It was bad as hell. I mean,
I've seen it. Are you sure that wasn't low stress training?
Yeah, it was. But I've never seen nobody do it. I mean, it was perfect. There was nothing. Every one of them was perfectly. It was. I'll find the picture and send it to you. Whoever did this had way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, they took that time.
They had to space each one of the strings that was tied to. They were like a half-inch apart, and they were all. Oh my God! It was beautiful though. Oh,
Shane called it the manifold.
Yeah.
Manifold. Watch this. So, crap. If you look at it like that, now I just didn't take my feeder leaves off.
Right.
But if I took my feeder leaves off, it looks like that manifold that you got.
That's neat, man.
That's just how you get those autos to bush out and keep low and give you a whole shit ton of sights, man.
Well, we're talking neat growing. Here's one. I grow everybody's stuff, and I've got some autos out there now. And what serious Ken stuff? When I topped any of his stuff or Gnome Automatics, the damn thing is just bush. I don't know what it is. Right. I'm growing somebody else's now, and I've topped them like I top everything else, and these things are straight as an arrow. I mean, they're beautiful, healthy, gorgeous plants, but they won't bush.
I had a plant auto top itself. It just at the top node split and had 2 sites.
That'd be bad.
All by its lonesome.
I tried to do that, but like I said, I've got 3 out there right now that just, and I've got 2 others from another strain. One of them I topped, and that sumbitch is going everywhere. I can't wait to see how much it's going to have.
Yeah. It's all fun, man. I love trying the things that, you don't see very often.
I like it when people tell me about something. I gotta try it, man. I gotta try shit. I really do. Like when you were talking about the teas. I'm not. I mean, I'm a big fan of my aloe teas, my
Yeah.
cannabis teas. I don't care for that banana tea because I don't like gnats, and that son of a gun will bring you gnats. I mean, I promise you,
Right.
it'll bring you gnats.
I can see that.
But a trick, you're going to think I'm silly. A trick I found before I got as big grown like I am now is growing in a closet. I took club soda, just no flavor, no mineral, pure, just carbonated water is all it was. And if I got those little fucking gnats in my closet, I just put a little bit of that on top. They cannot stand CO2, I found out. So when I got my big tent, I ran CO2 bags. You ain't got to worry about that. CO2 falls down to the bottom of the dead gnats everywhere. You go in every morning and you vacuum them up. So if you got the money and you can run a bag and you got gnat problems, go ahead and spend the $30 and get one. But if you're growing small and you've got a little bit of a gnat problem, just get yourself some. Just make sure it's not mineral water. It's just club soda. All it is, and just put a little bit of that on top of your when you're watering. It'll take care of your gnats, brother. They hate CO2.
That's a good one, man. Club soda. Let me write that down.
And that's one of those things. If I tell you it works, I did it. It works. I like I said, I used to have to vacuum every morning in the big tent when I had CO2 bags in there. They just die. The gnats, the flies, everything. They can't put up with it. So that works out cool. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are growing in closets, and those gnats can really piss your wife off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, Don, man, we had an hour worth of bullshitting, man, and hopefully we helped these guys out with a couple of tips and tricks. But we're gonna go ahead and cut it at an hour, man.
That's cool.
We're gonna have, and folks, you guys listening, we're gonna be doing this more, right? Because there's a lot of shit to talk about. And you know what? Me and Don just like bullshit, and I hope you guys enjoy that. But for tonight, man, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are reading the ticker underneath. Don't forget about the community grow getting ready to start. And don't forget about the waffles coming up, right? So you got the Bo Cup on the 7th, right? There's still spaces, guys, and go get your spot. Cool? All right. So until Thursday, guys, have a good night and happy growing. Let me try to get this thing going. I don't even know how to do this shit, Don, really, if I'm honest. But
I got a little button here that says leave. Watch it. Love you, brother. Thanks. Let's see if this works.
Hey, Don. Okay, he took off. Or no worries, guys. All right, have a beautiful time tonight, guys, and we'll see you again. All right. Peace.